y'all get the MREs as well?
Girl, did we get the MREs? And then we would fight over it because some of the MREs would come with a candy. Hello? There were very few and far between. They would have like a pack of M&Ms. It's like they explained MREs of being like, this is what our soldiers eat. The package that it comes in, I was like, I am a war veteran. Like, I'm a soldier at war. My name is Kat Sanamont, and when Katrina hit, I lived in Metairie. My dad's side of the family is from New Orleans proper, so his family grew up New Orleans, St. Rose, and my mom's family was more like Covington area, Bush, Louisiana, so I'm giving that Creole vibe. The first thing I remember about evacuating is we had heard it before. So it was like, evacuate, evacuate, and then we would get really nervous and evacuate, and then nothing would happen. So I remember packing the worst, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was in 4th grade, I don't know. I packed some things, we put everything that we felt important, like, on top of stuff. It was very stressful. I have a family of 5, so I have 2 sisters, and it was a tough night. So evacuating, we had family in Pensacola, and we had always vacationed there. So like Pensacola was like a fun, silly time for us. Like my grandma was one of 7, and her brother lived there and was very successful. So he had like a mattress company there, and he had condos and all these things. So it was like they had space for us to go, which is like so lucky that we didn't have to worry about like hotels or anything. But it took 24 hours to get to Pensacola. Right now, on today, if you went to Pensacola, it would maybe be like 5 hours, right? Like maybe 6 if you stop, but it was 24. We were traveling with 5 dogs, 2 cats, a rat, a rabbit, and a hamster. So tensions were high. Katrina had not hit yet, so it was like in the pre-anxiety time of like, we don't know what's gonna happen, but we're already dealing with a whole thing. Once the storm did hit, it was like, okay, it got pretty serious. I can't imagine what it was like for my parents of being like, what do we do? They did put us in school. So for a very short minute, I was a student at, it's like Blue Jets or something like that. I was like Blue Jets Elementary. So it was like my first time of being like, I'm going to this new place. I get enrolled in this school and they don't have uniforms. But when I was packing my things, I was like a little baby who didn't know anything, and I didn't bring anything with me because I didn't think about being long-term anywhere. So I get enrolled in this school with no uniforms, like any clothes that I want. It was the first time that word refugee came into play. When I got to this school, it was like, she's the refugee kid. I had never felt that before. And I'm not in the clothes that I wanted to be in. To be very honest with you, I thought about my own house, and I don't think I had ever conceptualized like how flooding works, right? So I lived in Metairie in a it was like not 2 stories, a 1-story house, but there were like steps to get in. And I think that my brain could not conceptualize like the water being like where the steps are. So my thought was like, how is the water gonna get up there? Like, there are stairs. My house flooded this amount, but it ruined our entire house. Like, I can't even imagine the vast majority of the city who like had water to the roof. So I think watching the news was like confusion. I couldn't think about like the water just being everywhere. Like that was hard for me to think about. Tensions are high. Like this is a very stressful situation. And I have moments where I'm like so grateful that I was not old enough to conceptualize all of it. Because New Orleans means so much to me. Like it is such a big part of who I am as a person that like I'm very grateful to not have been able to really understand what was going on. I really feel for my parents having to hold it together in that time of uncertainty and having children. Returning to New Orleans was very interesting. You wanted so badly to be back here, but you came back here and it was not the city that you left. Like it was a skeleton of what you were used to. We couldn't even go to our house at first, I don't think. So we all came back to my grandparents' house and we were all there. It didn't flood. There was like a little bit of roof damage, but not like how the area that we lived in got. And that's what's crazy is like Metairie is not even on the radar. It's like every other part of the city was so bad. Like the ninth, like all of these places where the water was so bad, it's like all of the focus is there. But there were also places like where my house was, where it was like our shit flooded, but not as bad as everyone else. We couldn't even go back to our house because of the damage. Like it was pretty bad. I don't know how FEMA works. We applied for the things and we got our FEMA trailer eventually. I will not forgive them for a lot of things, but we had a family of 5 and they gave us just like a regular FEMA trailer. And our neighbor, who was a man and a wife, right? Tell me why they got the FEMA trailer with the pop out. They got the one that like pops out so you have more space. And it was like, what do you mean? Like, and it was such like a frustrating thing to like look next door and see that they have this like larger one than us because they don't have kids, they don't have anything. So it's like, I am sleeping on the fucking kitchen table and you guys have this pop out thing. I think my favorite takeaway about my time in the FEMA trailer is my mom is a big Christmas person. And she was like, I won't let this take away from my Christmas spirit, right? She went to the Dollar Tree and was like, we're gonna have a blue and silver vibe, and bought everything that she could find in blue and silver. So outside of the FEMA trailer was like Mardi Gras chairs and like a fire pit, and then our Christmas tree. Like she put the Christmas tree outside of the trailer and decorated it in this blue and silver theme. Our FEMA trailer, we put like snowflake lights on. And for 3 years, so it was like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. It's like very prominent times of like growing up. A memory that comes up is like fire trucks would kind of like go through the neighborhoods with bags of ice and like give them out. I think that was kind of the first moment that I was like, I felt like something was up. It just was the kind of a moment that put things in perspective to me as a kid of like, we're in a situation.
Did y'all get the MREs as well?
Girl. Did we get the MREs? Absolutely. And then we would fight over it because some of the MREs would come with a candy. Like there were very few and far between. They would have like a pack of M&Ms. I have 2 sisters, so it would be like, fighting over M&Ms. It was more fun for us. Like I think the MRE part of it was like kind of silly and fun for us as kids because it was like a little science experiment of like, you open the thing and you do the thing and now it's hot and now your food is cooked. We kind of had the benefit of being youthful and young and not having to like take it in for like how serious it is that we're eating MRE. You know what I mean? Like the package that it comes in, I was like, I am a war veteran. Like I'm a soldier at war. Like that, like that's literally what it felt like. It's like they explained MREs of being like, this is what our soldiers eat. I think Katrina changed my aspect on community by a lot. We were lucky, my parents had friends that came here to help us. Because we were so far down on the insurance list, we had to rip out the floors and the walls and everything had to be completely torn out and ripped away, and that was our responsibility. My parents had really great people in their lives that came down here and like lived here for a minute to help us do that. My mom has always worked in community work and caring for other people, and I think because she has put that much work in that in her life, that these people saw this opportunity that she needed it and they showed up. And I think that was the first time of me like feeling the New Orleans part of it, of like, we have something so special here. Like New Orleans is so special, of the people who are like gonna show up out of the woodworks, of people you haven't talked to in forever, to be like, oh, you need to rip out your floors, you need to take out your walls. I actually have experience in doing that, and I'll be there in a minute. Growing up, I realized like I have a lot of storm anxiety, but I don't realize it until there's like something happening. And then I'm like, oh, this is like very real for me. When we did make it back here and got back into my real school, they pulled like all of the kids that were dealing with that, and we had like a weekly meeting with a counselor. Like they put us in like a Katrina kid counselor session, you know? I am just so grateful to not have been able to like really know what was going on here. I honestly love the city so much that I don't know how I would have recovered if it was me now. To know what was happening at the Superdome, to know what was happening like in the city that I care about so much, it would have been really hard for me to deal with that. Tragedies happen all the time, and us as a world care about it in the moment. But it's like when those cameras went away, like when the news stories stopped happening, when all of those things weren't at the forefront of the world, I was still living in a FEMA trailer. So there was such a disconnect of like everyone caring and being like, we need to put all of our focus here. But that dies out because the world keeps going. But like we didn't keep going. Like we were in here. We were in the thick of it for a really long time. What are the things that people who are not from here but want to help, like how do they best place their resources to alleviate that part if it happens again, or if it happens somewhere else? There are natural disasters everywhere all the time. So it's like, even at Dirty Coast, it's like something bad happens and we make a t-shirt, and the t-shirt donates to something that does a thing, and it's like, which is great, but it's like, is that our vessel of helping is making t-shirts? Like, what is it? And I don't have the answer, but like, how do we form some sort of like nonprofit committee, something that puts things in place like for the people who are not involved in it at all, but get it. So it's like, if a Katrina level storm happens somewhere else, like how do I help the girl that's in 4th grade who is gonna live in a FEMA trailer for 3 years and live with it? Like, what do I do with the experience of what I've experienced? Like, how do I translate that into making it better? And I don't have an answer, but I wish that I did. I don't know what I would have I don't know, other than just being there and being like, it's gonna be okay, and it's gonna be really hard for a minute, and I can relate to you of what you're going through, But like, how do I action-based item make it better? And I think that's something we should think about. We live in such a social media based world right now. All of the people who make their money being influencers traveling to my city, what are you going to do about it? There are so many people who are getting paid, who are getting money to be like, New Orleans, Hurricane, here's a po' boy. Like they're literally getting paid to like showcase my culture. So like, what do you guys have in place for when something goes down, other than posting on your social media that it's happening? Thoughts and prayers to my favorite city, thinking about my po' boys. Now we live in such a social media time that it's like, what is the TikTok of it all gonna look like if that happens again? How many people will try to sing the sad viral song about New Orleans, being like, I went there once for Mardi Gras, thinking about y'all. If something like that happens again, what will this social media time that we live in do to benefit that, and having access to the world at our fingertips at all times? What is the plan there? What is your plan of action, Miss Girl who is laissez les bon temps relais for your views? What you gonna do?